Today, I'm going to cover the prices for the cheapest Medigap or Medicare Supplement Plan G companies for 2026. And I'm also going to show you what happened to some of the cheapest companies in 2025 and why they're no longer offering policies to new members, which is a great learning experience for you as you're shopping for Medicare supplement plans. Keep in mind, these are sample rates based on individuals in the top 20 states. I picked the top 20 largest states by population just to try to streamline the process. So I'm going to go through each state pretty quickly. These are sample rates, so depending on your age, your Medicare Part B start date, whether you use tobacco or whether you've been on Medicare already and require medical underwriting, all of those elements can dictate your premium. This is simply to give you a snapshot of where the market is if you are shopping for a Medicare Supplement Plan G. I'm going to move quickly and cover quotes alone. I've linked in the description a video we did on some of the top Medicare supplement companies, a more in-depth overview on each company's individual features. And I've also linked in the description one of the lowest Medicare supplement plan Gs, the high deductible plan G. I did a thorough review of that plan with prices compared to the standard plan G. So at any point in the video, you can pause and skip to your state to look at what it will cost for you. Hi, my name is Mark Pripp. I've been helping people understand Medicare supplements and Medicare for over 15 years. Let's get started. I'm going to cover the prices for the top 20 states, companies that dropped out of the market. I'm going to cover household discounts that apply to most of these companies. I'm going to talk a little bit about rate increases and then give you my final recommendations. So I'm going to start off with Texas. Number one on the list is for a 65-year-old. Coming in at number one is Blue Cross Blue Shield. You can see we're looking at $179 for a male, $159 for a female. Second place, which is HealthSpring, formerly known as Cigna, is $198 for a male, $172 for a female. Third place is Mutual of Omaha, $198 for a male, $172. So before I move on to the next state, let me pause just for a second. For these top three states, as you can see, I ran with the top three cheapest plan Gs per state. As I get into the additional states, I'm just simply going to focus on the single most cheapest plan. The comparison of the top three cheapest is to simply show you at least three household brand names that you're familiar with that you can see the price variance just vary slightly per company. So as I continue with all the states, when you're looking at prices, that's generally what you're going to come up against. Is you're going to have the top three and they're all going to be kind of neck and neck. So I didn't want to spend a whole lot of time splitting hairs over a few dollars here and there. I simply wanted to just get you the cheapest prices as quickly as possible. So let's move on to Florida, and we're looking at HealthSpring coming in at number one, $225 for a male, $201 for a female. Second place, UnitedHealthcare for a 65-year-old on Plan G is $287 for a male, $264 for a female. Coming in at third place, we have Florida Blue, which is $274 for a male and $274 for a female. I included Florida Blue, even though they're not the most competitive, because they are one of the biggest and largest Medicare supplements in the state with the longest history of stability in claims and customer satisfaction. Moving on to California, HealthSpring coming in at $200 for both male and female. Anthem Blue Cross is coming in number two at $227 per month for both male and female. Number three on the list is UnitedHealthcare coming in at $233. Now moving on to the remaining states, we have New York, which is rated and structured just like California, so the price for male and female is the same. In New York, we're looking at $370 for a male or female, and that's with UnitedHealthcare. Moving on to Pennsylvania, we're looking at $179 for a male, $162 for a female, and that will be with Highmark Blue Cross, a very large provider in the state. In Illinois, we're looking at $169 for a male, $147 for a female. That would be with HealthSpring. In Ohio, we're looking at $154 for a male, $134 for a female. Again, we're looking at HealthSpring. In Georgia, $182 for a male, $158 for a female, and that is with Medico. Moving on to Michigan, we're at $167 for a male, $159 for a female. That is going to be with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. New Jersey, we're at $181 for a male, $157 for a female. That would be with HealthSpring. Virginia, male, $145, female, $128. That would be with Humana. The state of Washington, not to be confused with Washington, D.C., we're looking at the same rating structure like New York. We're at $315 a month for both male and female. That is with Mutual of Omaha. In Arizona, we're looking at $179 for a male, $156 for a female, and that is with Medico. Moving on to Tennessee, we're looking at $165 for a male, $147 for a female. In Indiana, we're looking at $160 for a male, $139 for a female. Missouri, we're at $215 a male, $187 for a female. Maryland, we're at $205 male, female, $181. And last but not least is North Carolina, coming in at $147 for a male per month and $128 for a female per month. So as you can see, I ran through that pretty quickly to give you a gauge. I didn't really go into much about the companies, but if you saw the resounding theme, that is that HealthSpring, which is formerly Cigna, is very competitive right now in most states for both Plan G and Plan N. We're going to also do a Plan N video that is going to discuss the costs for Plan N in this exact same format. So the time this video was shot, definitely pay attention to HealthSpring because they are very competitive right now. Now, moving on towards the end of my list here, in 2025, we saw companies like ACE, which was owned by Chubb, and Allstate come into the Medicare supplement market with very, very competitive premiums, much lower than these. Well, they did that for a handful of years. They came in with very aggressive rating, were cheaper than everybody else, acquired membership, and determined that the amount of money they were taking in for premium versus how much were being paid out in claims was no longer sustainable, and they closed, not closed the company, but they closed to new membership. I believe ACE rebranded under another name. I can't even tell you the name, but it didn't go well for them, and Allstate just closed altogether in terms of new membership. Now, if you or someone you know has ACE or Allstate, the rules and laws protect those individuals that if they have a plan, they cannot lose it as long as they pay the premium. It's simply a matter of they're not taking on new membership, which is generally a huge red flag that they did not price themselves adequately and they had to stop. That's a pretty severe action that they had to take. You may know most of these companies that I'm referring to, but we have adopted a 5-year rule that if the Medicare supplement company has not been performing for at least 5 years, we won't offer them. We stick to some of these bigger household name brands. We do a lot with most of the Blue Crosses. If you did not see a Blue Cross on this list, it's not that they are not good. It's just that at the moment they are not competitive. Blue Cross of just about every state available. They operate independently. They're very reliable, very solid companies. It's just this is based on a cost metric, and they did not make the cut for competitiveness. Now, they may be just $5 or $10 outside of the range, which still makes it a very appealing option. So some final recommendations. Keep in mind that I did not cover household discounts. Every one of these companies offers a spousal household discount or a household discount if someone lives with you above a certain age. So I just wanted to give you the raw prices, but should you come to the place where you want an actual quote, we're licensed in 46 states. You could call us direct. We do a needs analysis, and that's when we take into consideration if you do qualify for a household discount. These premiums could go even lower from anywhere from 8 to 10 or 12%, depending on your state. Some also offer additional discounts if you set up a certain billing method. So there is potential for the prices I've quoted to be even lower depending on your situation. And last but not least is remember that with all of these companies, when you're comparing them, your Plan G benefits are standardized. That means no matter which company you pick, all of the Plan G features and benefits are identical. Some of these companies may offer maybe a discount on dental and vision, which is small. They may offer a free gym membership or a discount on a gym membership. Most of them are going to offer additional policies that require additional premium for dental and vision insurance. But again, this was just from a competitive analysis. So one of the last things I'll talk about that everybody wants to know about is rate increases. Which one of these companies is going to have the lower rate increases over time, or which company does not close a block of business, or which company is more competitive in my 70s or 80s. What I will tell you is that's a lot of lingo and terminology that can get you caught up. Historically, we would look at a 3 to 7% rate increase, which is pretty standard. 2024 and 2025 really shook the market to the core, even in the Medicare Advantage space. Millions of people lost their plans because Medicare Advantage was recalibrating because they're losing money. Medicare supplement premiums increased due to claims and all kinds of other reasons that people are speculating. But I've been in this business for 25 years, and I can tell you this: health insurance premiums don't go down, unfortunately. There's no way to predict which of these companies is going to be more favorable to you in the rate increase conversation. The best thing you can do to combat rate increases is be very equipped and knowledgeable in what you can do. What rights do you have? What state rules do you have if you want to switch companies? Don't get hung up on some of these elements. People get hung up on the closed block of business. Well, Mutual of Omaha screwed me over because they closed my block of business and now I'm locked in premium hell. And so that's just simply not the case. You don't need to bog yourself down with things you can't control. So the way that I would encourage you to shop for a plan, compare your Plan G to your Plan N to the high deductible Plan G prices, put it on a spreadsheet, look at the cost savings over a year or over 5 years. And again, I link to the description below of how the high deductible Plan G works. Don't underestimate its power to save you money. Also check with your individual state to see if you pick a plan today and you want to change a year from now or 2 or 3 years from now, does your state allow for any guaranteed issue rights or special birthday rules or underwriting flexibility that allows you to change plans? Most of the states require you to go through medical underwriting after a certain period of time, but there are more and more states now that are coming around that have a birthday rule. That means you can switch once per year. Again, we're licensed in over 40 states. If you have questions, comment below, call us directly. We could do a needs analysis where we take all your info into consideration, give you exact numbers, help you strategize with your past and present medical history, whether Plan G or Plan N or high deductible G is the best suit. And again, knowledge is power. And once you have the knowledge and understanding, you can make a decision, pick a plan, and be at peace and let everything else fall by the wayside and keep living your life. Hope you enjoyed this. Let us know if we can help. Thank you for watching. Take care.